Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Nona. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you not new, thank you so much for continuing to come back and support me. I appreciate all of you so very much. Today I am doing something I really haven't done before. I've done follow-ups to hauls, but not quite like this. And I saw somebody who I watch pretty regularly do this, and I thought it was an amazing idea. And it was a good way for me to go back to the products, revisit them differently. Her name is April, and her channel name is Wannamakeup, and she is awesome. A lot of what I have purchased because of her. I should do a things April made me buy on my channel, because there's a lot. Kind of like a lot of people with Emily Noel or Tati or anybody really. April is that person for me. I just find that we have pretty similar skin tones, pretty similar tastes in our makeup journey. And even though she started her makeup journey a long time before I did, we are relatively the same age, and I feel like we like just about the same things. So I watch her pretty much daily. And she does a haul recap, and she talks about 2 months at a time. Because I'm starting this so late, I'm going to do January, February, and March in this recap, and I will probably do April, May, and June in a recap next month, so that I can then start doing like July and August and September and so on and so forth. That's my plan. Anyways, we'll see how it works. But this is a recap of the things that I hauled in January, February, and March. There is actually, I've got this paper here, there's actually quite a bit. So I am going to go through it. As for those of you who are not new to my channel, you know that I'm kind of on an unofficial, official low buy. So I've been trying to spend far less money throughout the months on what I am purchasing. So much so that I have only started doing one haul video a month, and just kind of bringing everything that I have hauled in during that month that I have purchased, that I have actually spent money on, into those videos. I think there is one video in here. For the January video, I have some things that were gifted to me through gift exchanges for Christmas and whatnot. I am including those in this as well, just so that you guys know what I did with that stuff. And the ice cream man is driving by. I wonder, she stopped. I wonder if my kids are getting ice cream. That sounds delicious. I need a cotton candy blizzard. So my weakness is cotton candy, just so you all know. And one time a year during the summer, Dairy Queen brings out cotton candy blizzards for their summer, their summer blizzard lineup. And I think I need a cotton candy blizzard every single day. And that's sad news, because I don't need one. But that sounds delicious. Anyways, moving on. So some of these things I hauled in, but didn't really, they were more like gifts. So I think that is just in my January one. Everything for February I did purchase, and everything for March I also purchased. So we're gonna start. In January I hauled quite a bit. Some of it was stuff that I had hauled in a FabFitFun edit sale. Like, FabFitFun does edit sales with the boxes, and then they do an edit sale kind of in between their boxes. That is the haul that I'm talking about, because the FabFitFun stuff that I haul in with edit sale, that I haul in with a FabFitFun box, I didn't count in this. I just counted the items that were in my haul video. Oh, my man is back. So we're going to talk about those things that were in my haul videos for January, February, and March. So in January, I hauled the Wealthy Rebuild Protein Powder that I remember talking about. That was in the FabFitFun Edit sale. I bought a goodie bag that was $29, and that came in that bag. And I remember speaking to it as though it were something that I was planning on trying, because I was trying to live healthier, eat healthier, be healthier, and that kind of went by the wayside with my new job, because I spend more time on the road than I do in my home. So I just don't have time to put together protein shakes. So I haven't used that at all. As a matter of fact, it went into my products box for giveaway. So I should probably actually look at it and make sure that it's not going to expire anytime soon. I might take it out. My daughter likes to do protein shakes because for like probiotic purposes, so I might take it out for that, but I haven't even used it. The next thing on my list is the Vasanti Brighten Up. The one that I got in January was actually in the goodie bag from FabFitFun. I had just finished up my Vasanti Brighten Up the previous month that I was using. I do love this exfoliator. It's a very nice, like, it's got super micro granules in it, and it feels really good. I feel like it did do things for my skin, so I will pull it out and use it. I think at the time I got it, I had just finished up my other Vasanti, but I had another exfoliator that I had started using, the LMS exfoliator, and that is actually still in my shower. It's still something that I'm using right now, so I love it though. The next thing I got was a Morula Styling Oil. I did get that. I talked about giving it to a friend of mine who I had worked with at Starbucks, because she had recently been talking about wanting some kind of oil for her hair. I didn't give it to her, but I would still give it to her. But I think I might actually give it to my daughter or start using it myself. Like, I've noticed that there's some... my hair has a tendency to be a little frizzy, so I might actually start using it myself, but I haven't even touched it. In that, I also got a palette by Peak, and that actually went into my giveaway box, so I haven't touched it. It is also in my giveaway box. And then I got the Chlorine Eye Makeup Remover. This is an eye makeup remover that isn't my favorite, honestly. It burns my eyeballs quite a bit, but I do have it in my makeup room, and I do use it to take eye makeup off at the end of the day sometimes. Or if I am doing my eye makeup and I'm not liking how it's panning out, I will use it at that point in time to take that eye makeup off my eye as well. It just doesn't work as well as I would hope it would. It just is not that great. I prefer my Mary Kay eye makeup remover. I also prefer Cetaphil has one that I love, and kind of replaced my Mary Kay eye makeup remover because it works the same way and is twice the amount for half the cost. So I really like that one. The chlorine one is not my favorite, but I do use it. Know that if you are going to purchase it though, that, I mean, it works. It just takes a lot of like rubbing to work, and it stings my eyes because while you're rubbing, like, some of that liquid gets into your eyes. With any eye makeup remover, it works that way, and this one actually stings. So the next thing that I got in that month was the Hickey On The Go lipstick necklace with the really poopy chain. And I actually got that for a gift for my DM at the time. And she kind of became somebody who I didn't trust and who I didn't feel appreciated by anymore. So I still have it. I haven't used it. I haven't replaced the chain though, so I would want to replace the chain before I started wearing it. But I did initially get that for a gift for somebody else. The next few things on here are things that I got as gifts during that month, and one was a lime green Real Technique sponge. Lime green is my absolute favorite color of green, that kind of like chartreusey green color. So I haven't used this Real Technique sponge, in addition to the fact that I already had a pack of 4 that I had just opened when I received this Real Technique sponge. So I haven't used that one yet, but I will. They are my favorite sponges. The next one was a blue fuzzy sponge that I got from a gift exchange at Starbucks. And I'm not really, I cannot recollect what brand it was. I know that she picked it up at TJMaxx, but it was like in essence of like those Juno sponges. What I can say about the sponges, I really like the application because I have been using it. I really like how it applies your product, but I will say it is not like bouncy like most like Real Technique sponges or beauty blenders are. It's not bouncy. It's actually quite hard. So when you're like patting it into your skin, it kind of feels like you're punching yourself in the face with it. So I did like it, and I do like how it applies, but I probably won't use it very often just because of how it feels when I'm using it to apply my makeup. The next thing was a Profusion Merlot Eyes palette that I got in an Instagram gift exchange that a friend of mine set up, and I didn't use that palette at all. I gave it to my daughter. It just wasn't a palette that I felt fit well in my collection. It was very reminiscent of Modern Renaissance, and I had those colors over and over and over again in my collection. In addition to the fact that Profusion is like a drugstore brand, and I'm not really, how do I say this? I'm not really satisfied, or I don't really know much about the Profusion formula to know whether I like it or don't like it. I just knew that I had that color scheme over and over and over again in my collection enough that I didn't need this palette. So I went ahead and gave it away to my daughter. I also gave the Gucci rollerball that was given to me in that same exchange. Almost everything that I got from that exchange I gave away. I think the Gucci rollerball and the Profusion Merlot Eyes palette both went to my daughter. And then the chocolate bar, the organic chocolate bar, I actually still have sitting over there on top of my drawer. I can't imagine it's any good at this point in time, but I don't eat chocolate, and I really didn't want my kids to eat it down either, so I didn't do anything with it. And the Buxom lipstick that I received that month in Extreme Heat was kind of like a bright coral orange. And that went into my giveaway box because I can't use that. No way. A bright orange color will look good on my skin tone. And there was a Pier 1 Reed diffuser in like Apple Crisp, and that I actually set up and used and had it in one of my empties a couple months later. The little tiny Reed diffuser didn't work for very long. It emptied actually quite quickly, but it smelled so good. So good while it was going. So it was amazing. In February, I did an Ulta haul in which I spent, I think, less than $50 with everything that I received because I had enough points to get almost everything for free. And then I also got a whole bunch of little freebies in that haul. I'm not going to speak to the freebies because I didn't stay on that video long enough to go through every freebie. Know that if it was a sample size, I probably haven't used it, and it is still in my sample drawer. I'm going to start a sample series here that I'll do every week or every other week where I'm getting samples out, using them, and telling you how I feel about them at the end of that time frame. Kind of like another lady I watch all the time. Her name is Tiffany Dawn. She has a Sample Sunday series on her channel. I will probably start one. I've been watching her do them for the 2 years that I have been involved in YouTube, and I love them. And I remember way back when thinking, how did you get all those samples? I think I've asked her that, actually, in her comment section. How are you getting all these samples? Well, now I know. and I have all those samples myself. So I might start a sample series as well, like hers, kind of, but not, because she gives away samples every week as well now. And I don't have enough to give away and use, so I will be doing a sample series on mine. But with that being said, I did not go through the bags and hordes of samples that I got in that haul as well. I just went over the stuff that I purchased. So in that purchase, I did get 2 Juvia's Place palettes. I got Festival and Tribe, and I have used both of them, and I love both of them. Juvia's Place is one of my very favorite eyeshadow formulas, and I will probably never give them up. I have almost all of the Juvia's Place palettes that have come out thus far. I think I'm missing like 4 or 5, but there are 4 or 5 palettes that I don't see myself using, so I'm not going to add them to my collection just to say I have the whole Juvia's Place palette collection. I'm not a completionist, so that is whatever. But those 2 palettes I love, love, love so very much. Tribe is the more green one, and then Festival is a whole bunch of different shades of like orange and pink and blue. It's just a really fun palette to have in your collection for that pop of crazy color that you can't really get in any other palette. I also hauled in the Laura Geller Filter Blush Baked Cheek Color in Illuminating Rose. This is what it looks like. I love Laura Geller blushes and cheek products in general. I haven't really even tried this, so I'm not sure why I haven't tried it. It really struck me as beautiful the first time I had it. I have swatched it, but I haven't tried it. So I am maybe even going to do a Shop My Stash series and start pulling in things like this in addition to my Palette Roulette palette, so that I have an idea of what I'm using every single week. That'll give me an idea of what to pack in my makeup bag every week, instead of like floundering through my makeup collection to see what I maybe haven't used in forever and what I need to use. I haven't even used it, so I can't really speak to it. The next thing I got was this Morphe 8C Cool Pro blush palette. Now this guy I have used a ton. I love this blush palette, and I love traveling with it. It has any shade of blush I think I might need ever. This could be my one and only blush product, and I would be super happy about it. The only thing I can say about it that I do not like is the fact that I don't think that these have the same like longevity as say a Tarte blush or even a Laura Geller blush, or like my ABH blushes I think last longer than these. I would say that their longevity is not amazing, but I love this blush palette. I take it with me almost every week because it doesn't matter what colors I'm wearing on my eyes or what kind of makeup look I want to go for. I can get any blush tone out of this by either mixing or using it in a single pan that I want. And I love this formula. It is a great formula. Another thing that I got in February was this. It's the Morphe 9G Oh My Gorge eyeshadow palette. And you guys, I haven't used it. I haven't used it. This is why I have a palette roulette series on my channel, for reasons such as this. I buy all these palettes. I think that they're beautiful. I love them so much, and then I just don't touch them again after I've hauled them in. And I need to start touching them. The next 2 things I want to talk about are these 2 things. They are the Morphe brushes that I got in that haul. One of them is the Morphe M506, and the other one is the Morphe M562. This is the 562. It's just a little tiny, like, long white brush, and I love this for under the eye. Like, I will put just a tad bit of color on there and like swirl it in underneath my eye to mix in whatever color I have directly in like my waterline and right underneath my waterline, and then take a lighter color on this brush and like swirl it in. I also like using it just to tap color into the tear ducts on my eyes, or the, you know, the inner corner of my eye. I love this brush. This one here, the M506, is probably my favorite purchase of the year thus far. I love this brush. I use it every single day. What I don't love about it is that as I've washed it over and over and over again, it has started to get a little bit scratchy. I noticed it really well today while I was putting on my eyeshadow, so I might have to go pick up another one. But this is probably by far my favorite like crease brush. I put color on it, put it into my crease, and just swirl it in there, and then use it to buff it up into like my upper brow bone area, and I love it. I love it. These are probably my favorite purchase of the year thus far. The next thing I hauled in that month, or one of the other things I hauled in that month, is the Volcano Goddess palette by Becca. I did have a friend that picked this up for me at TJMaxx, and I wanted this palette so bad from the time it came out. I wasn't going to spend the $50 that they wanted me to spend on it, but also not touched. I'm almost ashamed that I've had this in my collection for 6 months and haven't even touched it. I just have way too many palettes. I need to start thinking about not purchasing any more palettes for a while. I did get this as well. This is the Oprah MIDI palette Feeling Myself. This is a blush trio. I mean, not a blush trio. A highlight trio palette. And this guy I have used every single day for the most part. We have Blissful, Pillow Talk, and Rodeo Drive in this palette. This one is the only one I really haven't touched in this palette because I do have already a Rodeo Drive out. And I know that it appears that you can pop this top off and pop these out and put them into a magnetic palette if you wanted to, but this was an excellent buy. I would do it over and over and over again. Highlights are one of those things that you don't need 50 million of because you're not going to hit pan on any of them. I don't think I've even come close to hitting pan on even my oldest eyeliner, and I just don't think that you need full-size highlights. So this was a great item for me to pick up and for me to travel with. Honestly, again, it's a palette that I take with me traveling all the time because these highlights are just so pretty. This one is, you know, a nice gold, and this one is a really pretty like almost icy white color, and then this one is a really pretty like rose gold color. I am wearing this one today on my face and I love it. When I first looked at it, I thought, oh, that might be too dark, but these go really well on any complexion and they can look amazing, and they don't make your texture appear more texturized on your face. So I really like that part of it. The Urban Decay Brow Blade I purchased that month, and that just recently, I'll put that video up here, showed up in my 20 worst products from 20 brands in 20 minutes. It was a product that I used, and I used all the way up, but I used it and used it all the way up rather quickly, honestly, and I kind of regret spending the money I spent on it because number one, I used it so quickly, and number two, it just wasn't it wasn't as pigmented or amazing as I thought it was going to be. So the pencil didn't last very long. The pencil lasted far less time than the actual like felt tip, or not brush tip, the brush tip that you're to like feather in hairs with lasted a little bit longer, but its pigmentation didn't last very long. It was out of my collection in an empties video, I think the following month. The NYX Precision Brow and NYX Micro Brow pencils from that month I still have actually in my collection. I've been running into this place where like I've done crazy things with my hair, so my brow product is very dependent on my hair color, and right now they're espresso. So they're a little bit too dark for the hair looks that I've had over the most recent months. So they're still in my collection. They're still going strong. I love them to pieces, and they are my favorite brow products. I also got the IT Cosmetics Superhero Liner. It is my all-time favorite Holy Grail eyelining pen, and I will replace it over and over and over again as it depletes, but I did get that in February and it's still going strong in July. The next thing I had talked about was the It Cosmetics Bye Under Eye Corrector that I bought as a replacement for the one that was in my project pan. The one in my project pan is gone, and I did open that one up and start using it, and it is still going strong in my collection. It's a corrector I will continue to repurchase just because I really love the feel of it on my face, how it's not super heavy and it doesn't make anything look super cakey. And I can put it on my face and just it on my face and it blends out perfectly, and I can put it on my face under or over the top of makeup and it blends out perfectly, and it doesn't disturb anything underneath it or over top of it. It's just a pretty perfect under eye corrector, and it's got a nice peachy tone to it that I find works really well for my skin tone, even though my skin is not like a reddish skin tone. It doesn't have a whole lot of pink in it. The peachiness of it works just almost perfectly neutral to my skin tone. So I really do enjoy that under eye corrector, and I will buy it always. And then the last thing that I hauled in that month, or one of the last things that I hauled in that month, is the Becca Skin Love Foundation. I do use the Becca Skin Love Foundation in combination with my Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation that I pick up from Sephora because Ulta doesn't carry it. And I use those two colors together, not to have the perfect color. I think either one of them on my skin works well, depends on what time of year it is. The color that I pick up in the Too Faced Peach Perfect is a little more golden, so it goes well with my skin tone in like the summer and the spring even, and a little bit into the fall. And the Skin Love that I pick up is more, it's a little lighter, and it works really well for my skin tone during the winter, especially moving into spring and coming out of fall. So I think either one of them work perfectly on their own, but I love them together as well because one, the Peach Perfect, is a super matte foundation, and the other one, the Skin Love, is kind of a more dewy foundation, but one I feel like is too dewy for me and the other one is too matte for me. But I love them so much, both of them. I have been trying out a new foundation. I'm wearing it actually today that I actually really kind of love, so more to come on that. I got it at GMC and I kind of love it. Moving into March's haul. So the items that I picked up in March, first of all, were the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation to go with the Becca Skin Love that I had picked up in February. I just use half a pump of each on my face, sometimes a pump of each on my face. So they both last-ish amount of time, but I know that when I got down to, you know, just so much in each container, I cut them open and spatulaed out everything that was left and put them into their own container together already because I'd mixed the two of them. I didn't quite like it as much doing that. I didn't quite like the foundation combination quite as much, and I think it's just because it wasn't mixed up like that. It wasn't equal parts. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking crazy. I don't know. I didn't quite like it like that anyways, but I mixed those two foundations, so I had to pick up the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation to go with my Becca Love that I had just picked up in February. I also picked up a new bottle of Cinema Secrets. For those of you who are not new to my channel, you know that I clean my brushes after every single application, and this is the format of cleanliness that I use. I spray down each one of my brushes with Cinema Secrets after I have used them for the day so that they get a good cleaning throughout. I do not like the color switch pans day after day after day, so I do typically not use them that often. I use instead the Cinema Secrets, and I just emptied that bottle that I purchased in January. I just emptied it. I hope I have a backup. I do. I do have a backup. So now we know that I purchased that. Actually, I purchased it in March, and it is now the beginning of July, and I just emptied that Cinema Secrets bottle that I purchased in March. So Cinema Secrets bottle. For me, cleaning my brushes every single day with it typically lasts 3 months. 3-ish months. So, there's that. I also picked up a travel size Tatcha primer. I do still have some of that left. I do love the Tatcha primer. I just don't want to purchase it full size. So, and I also had some good open ones that I wanted to use up first, which I am barreling right through. The Tatcha primer I did use for quite some time before deciding to put it up and start using something else for now. I do love it. I love it. And I think everything that goes over the top of it looks so fantastic. I picked up this blush that month from TJMaxx. It is the ABH Blush Trio in Peachy Love. And it looks like this. I love a good peachy blush. I don't think I've used this. Funny story, I put on a peachy blush today. Why didn't I use this? Probably because I have another peachy blush that I use all the time. My Too Faced Papa Don't Peach blush. I use that all the time, but that's kind of on. I noticed today that I am not really digging how it went on my skin, so it'll probably go by the wayside and then this will become its replacement, but I haven't used it at all. I, in that month, picked up the Pat McGrath Sublime palette. This is what it looks like. You guys can see my fingerprints all over it. And this is what the inside looks like. I have obviously used it and abused it. I came up with some pretty spectacular looks from this palette. I've used every single color in it. I will say that besides the beautiful packaging, the beveled mirrors, the lacquer box, everything about this palette that is amazing, I would not say, just like with Natasha Denona, I have quite a few Natasha Denona palettes now, and I think I can speak to Natasha Denona just as well. I'm not necessarily sold on the fact that these eyeshadows are worth the price that you're paying for them. At least with Natasha Denona, you're getting 15 shadows. This comes with 10. And, I mean, they're good. They're awesome. They blend into each other. Do they blend themselves? No. Are they worth it? Sure. But I have a hard time saying that these are 100% worth the cost that you pay for them when I know that you can get these same kind of looks from any palette. They just might take you a little bit longer to get. These ones do blend a lot easier. They are very creamy to the touch. They are beautiful. But I won't spend $125 on another Pat McGrath palette. Okay, I'm going to take that back because I might. But again, I didn't buy it full price. I had a coupon when I purchased it, but I just have a hard time looking at the price of that palette and going, yeah, it's totally worth it. I also picked this up that month. This is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cool Glow palette. This is what it looks like. I did get it at Marshall's or TJMaxx or something like that. I haven't even used it. And that is not unlike this palette that I also picked up that month and haven't used. I need to do a Shop My Stash. This solidifies it. I really need to do a Shop My Stash. This is my favorite highlight formula. My favorite highlight formula, and I haven't even touched that palette. I picked this up as well. It is the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. This guy I have used. I have used this quite a bit. This is what this palette looks like. This is not my favorite. This is kind of mediocre at best as far as pigmentation goes for a glow, a cream glow. I usually will put it on and then put something on over the top of it, whether it be one of these highlights or a different one. I love this blush. This blush looks so scary in the pan, but I love it. I just take a wet blender and I dip it into there and I like blend it. I put it like first back here on my highest points of my cheekbone back here, and then I will blend it forward and blend it up because I put my blush all the way around like this, kind of like a C. And I will blend it up and blend it down, and it is just, it's a beautiful cream blush. This one I haven't used, but this one I have. This, what is this called? Glow Extreme. And I like it a lot. I don't think that it is extraordinary. I just don't think it's an extraordinary highlight. As I said, this is my favorite highlight formula. This one I could take it or leave it. I do love the blush. I do think that this is worth $55. I think that the pans are pretty decent size. I think this blush is beautiful, and you would pay $30-something alone for just that blush. I do like this highlight on top of this. I think that they look really great together. I need to use this one, so I can't speak to that, but I do think that it's worth it. I would probably buy it again if given the chance. And the last thing I picked up in that month is the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair eyeshadow palette. I did pick that up at Marshall's or TJMaxx, I can't remember which, and I haven't used that palette either. So let's just run this down, you guys. So in January, February, and March, I brought into my collection 7 new palettes. Of those 7 new palettes, 1 of them went to my daughter. 3 of them I have used. So there are 3 of those 7 palettes. I guess that's not that bad, but still. There are 3 of those 7 brand new palettes that I haven't even touched. So I need to start using those. But I think where we get into the, that's not so bad, that doesn't sound horrible, and me going, really need to touch my stuff, is I also brought in several products, like face products or whatnot, like 5 other palettes or singles of other things, other makeup pieces that I use on an everyday basis that I haven't touched as well. So of all the products that I brought in, the makeup pieces and whatnot, there's quite a bit that I haven't used. So today we went and spent some money on new bathroom fixtures, cabinetry, a new toilet, a new sink, a new vanity, a new sink top, a new bathroom, brand new bathroom. And I was like, there goes my makeup budget for the rest of the year. But truth be told, I have been trying not to spend as much on makeup over the last several months, because this is what happens. I purchase all this stuff and I bring it into my collection and I never friggin' use it. I'm hoping that my video next month going over the stuff that I received in April, May, and June pans out just a little bit better than this one. I think I brought in, far less those 3 months than I did these last 3 months, well, January, February, and March, because we were, still in like sale season and Christmas season and gifting season. I brought in a lot of stuff that was gifts. So I'm hoping that my next video like this goes a little bit differently. And I can speak more towards my little mini reviews of these products than just simply saying, I haven't used that. I didn't use that one either. I kind of suck at life. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that if you did and you like this kind of content, that you give it a thumbs up. That does let me know that you're enjoying what you're watching and you want more. I also hope that you liked this video or me enough that you're considering subscribing to my channel. I do have a kind of a close-knit group of people here on this channel right now, or just, sitting at 500. We've been sitting there since September of last year, so we're running right around a year of no growth whatsoever, but I'm okay with that, as long as you're okay with that. And I hope that if you consider joining this channel, that you hit the subscription button, you hit that bell so that you're notified when I upload, and that I get to converse with you in the comments section, that I get to actually, have conversations with my people. I love having conversations with my people. Let me know how you're feeling about things that you hauled in the first part of this year. I would be anxious to hear about all of your fab things and fail things, and I hope to see you in the comments section, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, bye guys.